It was meant to be a line in the sand, bringing great change for our veterans and their families. The Royal Commission into Defence and Veteran Suicide came up with 122 recommendations, and nearly all were adopted. But 12 months on, advocates and families say it doesn't feel like much has changed, and they're concerned the report will just end up collecting dust. President of Legacy Brisbane, Dr Annabelle Maguire, joins me now. Annabelle, welcome to you. Has anything changed, do you think, since these recommendations were adopted?
I think that some things have changed. You can see that the government is starting to do some things, but for people on the ground that are facing the consequence of service for their country, nothing's changed.
And why do you think that is? Why does it seem as though feet are being dragged?
I think realistically for a government it takes time to... Some of the key recommendations were 87 and 89, which were to set up a peak body for ex-service organisations and a wellbeing agency. If you have to set up those, you need the governance and the policy, and you need political dollars to do that. And we don't have the dollars even if we had the willingness from government to do it.
And when this Royal Commission was set up, there was a real sense of urgency. Lives are on the line here. What are the consequences for not speeding things up?
Well, since the Royal Commission was handed down, I understand there's been about 96 more suicides. So we're counting months and lives at the same time. So if we can't speed things up, we can't make change, we can't improve outcomes for veterans and their families, and particularly from a legacy perspective, which is the only organisation that looks after families.
And Annabelle, you've had first-hand experience with the mental health effects of deployment, and your own husband had served in Iraq. You described it when he returned as when PTSD came to your door.
I've talked to him often about this since, and he's fine for me to tell the story because he said if it helps anyone, then that's great. But he came back, he'd been home about 10 days, and fireworks went off in the neighbourhood. And that, of course, sounded like incoming fire to him, which he'd had to always react to because that's what saved his life. And he started to shake and he started to say, I'm broken, something's wrong, I shouldn't be doing this. And I said, but this was the reaction that saved your life 10 days ago. So right now it's normal, but if you're still feeling like this in a few months, then we need to do something, we need to change something. And if you're still doing this in 6 months, we are getting you help. But right now, let's just manage what you're feeling. And I was just really lucky because I knew that that was the right kind of thing to say. And I think that's the kind of information that can help families.
But that's the thing, you've got experience from a professional point of view in this space. You've worked in mental health. But for families who don't have that background, it's very confusing to know what to do.
The whole family system has changed. And I think it's something that we don't talk about enough, that deployment and service has consequences for families. And even right now, when we don't have many people deployed, the people that are serving are still away for months. I was at the airport last week and there was Navy guys coming home from 6 months on a ship, and their families were there waiting for them, saying welcome home. And, you know, a nervous little girl, not sure quite how to greet the dad that she hadn't seen for 6 months.
Yeah, and that's it. It affects individuals, it affects families, it affects entire communities, and that's why we need to continue shining the light on the need for these recommendations to be put into action and to ensure that Legacy gets the support it can to provide that support for the families.
Yeah, we are the only organisation that exclusively looks after the families of veterans, and that's me. It's why I'm so heavily involved, because it is me and it's my friends, and the most that we can do to make things better for them is really personally important to me. And right now, if you're in the public, starting on Sunday the 31st is Legacy Week. We get no regular funding from government, so every dollar that the community gives means that that's one more person that we can help through an alarm system for a widow, or financial counselling for a newly bereaved family through suicide, or whatever it is that that family needs at that time.
Yeah, it is so crucial. Annabelle, we thank you, and thanks so much for the work that Legacy does.
Thank you, and thank you for having us on.
And if you'd like to know how you can support Legacy, head to their website. If you or someone close to you needs help, there is support. Contact Lifeline, the number on your screen now, 13 11 14.